So, do you know the difference when looking at Shakespeare if something is in verse or prose? Okay, so let's look at that. This is also, and also the same thing applies to here. What do you notice at the beginning of every line in Ergast? And also in Claudia? Correct. If the beginning of every line is capitalized, that's your like clue phone that it's in verse versus prose. If it's prose, it would look like a normal paragraph, just like a paragraph in a book. That still has rhythm and it has rules to it, but it's not the same as demanding iambic pentameter. Okay, which is the verse of Shakespeare, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So, iambic pentameter, just to review. So iambic is the rhythm, which is unstressed, stressed.
Okay.
Like the heartbeat, like dee-dum, 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 unstressed, stressed, unstressed, stressed. Stronger on the second syllable. Dee-dum, 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 dee-dum. Okay? That's iambic. Pentameter, 5, like pentagram, is 5 meters or 5 feet, 5 dee-dums equals 1 line. Iambic, 2 syllables, 5 of those, so 10 syllables per line. So the first thing you want to do whenever we look at a piece is Shakespeare has given us a blueprint, a system by how he writes, the rhythms he writes, and where the words fall into the rhythms, like where the stressed syllables are.
Okay.
It helps you understand how to play them. If you find that like it's irregular in some way, if it's not iambic pentameter, if there's 12 syllables per line, if there's 9 syllables per line, if it's not iambic and it's like, look at, and then you want to also say, well, I could make everything into iambic pentameter, but you also don't want to speak things that sound like crazy and really irregular. Like the word N-E-V-E-R. How do you say that?
Never.
Right. Where's the stress? On the first or second syllable?
First.
Right. It's never.
Yeah.
It's
right.
not never. It's never.
Yeah.
Dum-dee. Right? Not dee-dum.
Okay.
So, and that's a reversal. That's called trochaic or a trochee. Opposite iambic. Iambic is dee-dum and trochee is dum-dee. Okay? So, how we would naturally say the word lets it absorb into the ear, not be like, wait,
yeah.
My ears like going, what are you saying? I don't understand that. I call it speaking Martian. If you're starting to like manipulate the words to hit the stress. Instead go, oh, that's irregular. And if there's a bunch of irregularity, there's a bunch of trochees, a bunch of things, that's a red flag from Shakespeare saying, this is purposefully irregular. That means something's going on in your character that's different. You have to fill in the blanks and go, why? Okay, so the first thing we want to do, we'll talk about the different stresses and stuff, but let's see what this says. And if there are not 10 syllables, we can try to make it into 10 syllables. If you can, do. If you can make it regular, do. So, one way is we can look at, let's say we read something that comes out to 9 syllables, but there's a word in there like beloved. So we can use elongation, making something longer, to make beloved into beloved, and add the syllable and make it 10. Now let's say we're thinking the word is beloved, and it's coming out to 11, and depending on the words, and we could elide it or contract it and make it beloved. We can make, into the heavens to int the heavens. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If we can find a way to elide and make it 10, we do. But there'll be other rules, and we'll see what comes up, and then I'll give you other rules as we explore. So, the first thing we want to do with verse is like really, really robotically, like really robotic like this, so we don't screw with our acting. We want to find how many syllables are in each line. So the first one would be like, sweet prince, you learned me noble thankfulness. 10. Okay? And we'll mark ones that aren't 10. Go ahead. There, Leonato, take her back again. And let me just say about names. We're talking about elision or elongation. Let's say Romeo and Juliet. Sometimes it scans that he is 3 syllables. Romeo. Other times it's elided. Romeo. made into 2 to make a 10.
Okay.
So that's Celia, like it depends on how it works, okay?
Okay.
So, give not this rotten orange to your friend, 10. She's but the sign and semblance of her honor. Oh, again. She's but the sign and semblance of her honor. Okay, that's 11. Now, first thing we want to look at, if it's an 11, is let's look at the last word. Honor. Naturally, not Martian. Where is the stress? First or second syllable? Correct. The last syllable is weak. Now, if I were to elide something, if I could elide something earlier, de-dum, 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 de-dum. In iambic pentameter, does it end weak or strong? Correct. So let's say I lied it and I went, she's but the sign semblance of her honor. Martian honor. No, it's honor. We don't just go honor, because then we go, wait, what did he say? I don't understand that. So, if the last syllable is naturally weak in how you say the word, we allow that to be 11.
Okay.
Okay? And put next to it capital F 11 next to honor. That means that it's a feminine ending. Masculine ending is harder, stronger, honor, dumb. Feminine is softer, weaker, honor. It's a softer ending to the line. Now, the occasional feminine ending, no big deal. But let's see if we start to line up a crap load of feminine endings. Go ahead.
Okay.
Behold, like a maid, she blushes here. 10. Oh, what authority and show of truth. 10. Can cunning sin cover itself withal? 10. Comes not that blood as modest evidence? 10. To witness simple virtue would you not swear? 11. Now, look at the last word. Is there a second syllable to go to? Like swearing, swearly, swearish, no. So, if it's only one syllable, it can only be strong.
Okay.
Now, if the last line is strong, let's see, to witness simple virtue, would you not swear? I can't really ally anything in that because you need all those words to have it make sense.
Right.
You know. So that's an 11. Now here's another thing we're gonna learn. Look at the line. Is there mid-sentence punctuation?
Yeah.
Yes. There's a question, and then there's a new kind of look at something. There's a new thought or a new beat mid-sentence. And because it's coming out as 11 as opposed to 10, let's say this line was 10. Let's say, what's not swear? Let's say that would be, instead of would you not swear, what's not swear? Let's say it was still a midline punctuation, but it was 10. Shakespeare is saying, the blueprint is, you still have the thought change, but it happens in an instant. Like, I'm making my point, and I'm changing my thought instantly. So it's a quick thought change because we have to keep it 10.
Right.
But if it comes out as 11, and there's that midline punctuation, Shakespeare's saying that's probably what's called a caesura, and that's down here. C-A-E-S-U-R-A. C-A-E-S-U-R-A. Caesura means you slow down toward the midline punctuation, toward the question mark, change your thought, and then ramp it up after that, as opposed to barreling through and changing your thought in a second. You actually are almost allowing 12. You're allowing a beat at that question mark to change your thoughts. You're actually going to make it 12 instead of 11. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, comes not that blood as modest evidence to witness simple virtue? Would you not swear? Witness
Okay.
simple virtue. Would you not swear if it was 10? If it was 10 and not 11? To witness simple virtue, would you not swear? You would jump on that attack.
Right.
But Shakespeare's saying there's a slow down, a thought change, and a bring up. And go, that tells me emotionally how to play that line. If I just have to slow down there, maybe it's too painful for me to even being able to say this right now because I'm so hurt that I loved you so much here at my wedding and you tricked on me and you couldn't wait for me. You know, you lost your virginity, or who knows who you lost your virginity to. It could be years ago and you're lying to me. You know.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see what that next. That's a caesura. And actually put, 12 next to it. You could put a little check mark at the virtue and then before the wood, as that's your thought changing your breath and then ramping it back up on would you not swear. Okay, going on. All you that see her that she were a maid, 10. By these exterior shows what she is none. Good. Anything that can lie. Exterior. So, instead of exterior, 4, we can make it 3. Exterior. So, using you draw a little C, with crayons, I'm making a C in a boat, okay?
Yeah.
So, that scooping, the points are going to be your syllabic division. So, X, scoop, T-E-R, scoop, or T-E, scoop, R-I-O-R, last scoop. If you were doing it the way it normally would be, how would you scoop it? E-X, T-E, R-I-O-R. So it's a 3 scoop, not a 4 scoop, to remind you. By these exterior shows. But she is none. So there's a midline punctuation, but you're already preempting the answer. You see what I'm saying? And that tells you the difference between the first one that has a caesura and this one. And that's an interesting emotional change that's in the text.
Yeah.
Okay? Let's go right here. She knows. She knows the heat of a luxurious bed. What can we ally? Luxurious. L-U, luxurious. L-U-X-U-R-I-U-S, 3 scoops. Her blush is guiltiness, not modesty. And because it comes out to 10, you say every single syllable, and not you don't apply to make it 10.
Okay.
So, what do you mean by that? Not to be married. I would say, I mean not to be married. I mean not to be married. Now normally, this might be laid out in some editions, look, this might be laid out in some editions where, what do you mean, my lord? As like Claudio, but the second half of his line will be at the far end. That means that between our 2 lines, we share 10.
Okay.
And if it comes out, if my line and his line comes out to 12 or 14, that means that you take that pause.
Okay.
What do you mean, my lord? I mean not to be married. Now, if together we share 10, that means Shakespeare's saying it's a quick cue pickup between the speakers. There's not a pause. So, what do you mean, my lord? Not to be married. And together we make 10 as one line. Okay? So, that varies editor to editor, and many times, like in a folder Shakespeare, you would see that kind of split line, like him, your line, but your line's over here. And that lets you know together you're 10. If it was like this, that means you allow the rest of 10 here. Like, What do you mean, my lord? Da, 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 da. Not to be married. Da, 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 da.
Okay.
And go on.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It always has to be allowing for space. Sometimes that's blocking, like, you know, I'll see at the window. Why look, my lord, she finds. So there'll be a short line with a space of the extra scansion that's missing. I'll see in the window. 6 out of 10. So for the last 4 beats, that's the time you look out the window.
Oh.
That's where Shakespeare tells you the blocking is.
That's cool.
You see what I'm saying? By how he writes it. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
Okay. So it helps you like, oh, I know where I should get sadder here, or something's changing here,
Right.
and then, or this is like I step on it, and I don't let her answer because I'm like preempting the answers. I'm like confronting her like a prosecutor.
Okay.
Okay. Like you are right, what that we just did. You know, all you that see here that she were made by these exterior shows, but she is none.
Okay.
I'm answering my own question.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so, not to knit my soul to an approved wanton. Not to knit my soul to an approved wanton. Now, if I were to elongate that, look at the last line.
Yeah.
Not to knit my soul to an approved wanton. If I made it 10, how do you say that last word? Wanton. Not wanton. Martian. Wanton. No,
Right.
wanton. So, I may have to elongate to make it 12 so that I say the last word correctly and not wanton. If I did not add something, not to knit my soul to an approved wanton. 12. Not to knit my soul to an approved wanton. 11, but Martian. Always look at the last word and decide is it weak or strong.
Okay.
Do I want it to be strong at the end and elide something to make it 10 or something? Or do I want to add something to the last word is not Martian?
Yeah.
So put a little slash over the E, and that lets you know you're elongating it, and give me your scoops. Crew, fed. 3 scoops. Crew, fed. I know what you would say if I have known her. So it's 11, but look at the last word. Is there any second syllable to go to on her? No. So it needs to be strong. So look at the midline punctuation. There's a colon.
Okay.
I know what you would say if I had known her. Sorry. If you had a séjour there,
Yeah.
I know what you would say if I had known her. You can put the extra beat before the line.
Okay.
Make it 12. So put a little check after say before if. And put séjour at 12. And that's the slow down, is one that slows down to the punctuation and picks up afterwards.
Okay.
I know what you would say if I had known her. Like, I know I've been like, moving through this and cutting people off and being a ball buster. Listen, I understand what you're talking about. I know what you're about to ask me. If I had known her, and you pick up the after the pause, that gives you a time to kind of recalculate and pause, or like look to him and go, no, really, I do. I know what you're about to ask me. I really do. If I had known her this way, you'd say no. Okay, so now going on to the next one. You will say she did embrace me as a husband. 12. Nothing to a lie. Say she did embrace me as a husband. You will say she did embrace me as a husband. You will say she did embrace me. It's a regular song. You will say she did embrace me as a husband. You will say she did embrace me as a husband. So we still have the find may beats. Here's another kind of sketch, and we're going to be looking at what we need to hear. Instead, you will say she did embrace me. Where's the, on that embrace, where's the stress naturally? First or second syllable?
Second.
Yeah, embrace, not embrace. Embrace, okay? So we need to definitely hit that. So this is what's called an anapest. Dee-dee-dum. Dee-dee-dum. You will say she did embrace. And look at the last word. Is it naturally weak or strong here? Husband or husband? Uh-huh. So we want it to be 11. You will say she did embrace me as her husband. So put F11. Feminine ending 11. Going on. And so extenuate the forehand sin. 10. Now, look at this. No Leonato. 5. Now let's just see if that's a fuck up. No Leonato, I never tempted her with word too large. No, because that would be 15. So there's a 5, just put 5 here. That means that something's going on here. There's 5 beats that something happens. Maybe that's turning to her. Maybe that's going in and feeling like the pain coming up. So there has to be that 5-beat silence.
Right.
And something is happening either blocking wise or emotionally. But you have to allow that. So, no Leonato, I never tempted her. No Leonato. He done. I never tempted her. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's there for a reason.
Okay.
We'll find out what that is. I never tempted her with word too large, but as a brother to his sister showed. 10. Bashful sincerity and comely love. 10. I would say, let's do a slight cut here and she says, have I seen I ever otherwise to you? Like out on me, seeming, I will write against it. You seem to me as Diane, or as chaste as is the blood of a woman. But you are more integral to the blood than Venus, those pampered animals, rage and savage sensuality. So I would say here, whatever passion's in. You could say, bashful sincerity. Show bashful sincerity and hungry love. You can either leave in out on thee or go to, but you are more intemperate in your blood than Venus, or those pampered animals, rage and savage sensuality. Still those beautifully kept, rich lap dogs that still go out and screw all night.
Right.
So let's cut out the out on the seeming, or seeming all right against it, seems Diana, or through blown. Cut that. And we'll either keep in out on thee, or I kind of like out on thee.
Yeah.
Out on thee, you are more intemperate in your blood. Instead of but you, say out on thee, you are more intemperate in your blood than me. Let's cut the but. Now, so that's the pentameter part.
Right.
Now let's see, because there's some other stuff we went to and say, again, operative-wise, maybe not everything is iambic, and we found an adapest, right?
Right.
Let's see if there's any trochees, the dumty, the reversals, that maybe they start the line, where it would you'd naturally say the word, okay? Did we say, we wrote in, I mean not to be married. We have, I mean, right? We picked up a little bit of,
Yeah.
Okay. Good. So now, let's see, what we want to do is go through and see if everything is truly iambic. If we can make it iambic, let's do it. If not, maybe the operative word is causing us to choose a different scansion idea, or does it sound like Martian? Okay.
Right.
So, sweet prince, you learn me noble thankfulness. It sounds like it is. Now let's also, as we're doing it, we find the iambic. Let's underline the stressed syllables or words. Okay, sweet prince, learn noble thankfulness. So prince, learn noble thankfulness. And what we're creating by underlining the naturally stronger syllables, Shakespeare also writes in that cadence to go, that's how we hear the main words that we're stressing. Okay? And this is giving us kind of a skeleton for each thought. If we cut out every other word and just said, prince, learn noble thankfulness, would you still understand what I was asking?
No. Well, yeah. No, yeah.
Right? You wouldn't get the me, learn me, you teach me. Right? Prince, learn noble thankfulness. Okay? Let's go on. There Leonato, take her back again. And I would say, there Leonato. I would have this be a trophy. Because you're saying, like, you're about to take her hand and go to the altar, and then you're like pushing her back to her dad.
Oh, okay.
That's like, there. Like, please, take her, my lord, with all my heart. He goes, the prince says you shouldn't do that if you're, so you go, you know what? Thank you for permission, and thank you for teaching me, prince. You saw the tricking as well. Okay. You learned me noble thankfulness. There, Leonato. So put a capital T for trochee. There, Leonato. Take back again. Understand the capital T?
Yeah.
And a trochee means there's more of an attack for some reason. In this where it's obviously confrontational. Other times it's a scene will start with that kind of, it'll attack the scene, like instead of like the opening of one of Juliet, Romeo and Juliet, she says, gallop apace, you fiery-footed steeds. That's the opening of that scene. The scene opens, she comes in, she goes, gallop, and so she attacks. Instead of saying, gallop apace, gallop, no, it's gallop apace, trochee, da-ba-da-da.
Okay.
So the scene starts with a trochee, or sometimes new beats, like that person leaves and then we'll start them with an attack. And anything means that there's more urgency or more excitement or more double down on the emotion you're already feeling. It's not kind of cantering along like a normal horse. It's a jump on it. Okay?
Okay.
Give And now, normally you also give not this rotten orange to your friend. You normally don't stress pronouns, my, your, I, he, or not negatives, not, no. You normally don't. So if you're trying not to stress a negative, that means there's another trochee. Give not this rot. Give not this rotten orange to friend. Give rotten orange to friend. She's but the sign and semblance of her honor. But sign, semblance of honor. You see, like when I say just the operatives, how you still understand what you're saying? Okay. It also will streamline your speaking, like the stuff we did in the other piece with the glides and just moving through stuff and grabbing the operative, okay? And I do a double underline under semblance. And maybe under honor. Semblance honor. Behold how like a maid she blushes here. Behold like maid, double underline, blushes here. Oh, what authority show of truth. And underline the word show. Double underline. Show of truth, meaning a false showing, a semblance, faking it. A performance of truth without really being true.
Okay.
Facade. Can sin now. Cunning sin cover itself withal. What's that fourth word? Naturally. Is it cover? Or is it cover? Midline trochee, reattack. Can cunning sin cover itself withal? Meaning I see through you. I see the cunning, devilish sinner that you are. And you're lying to me right now. You're lying in front of everybody by saying you did nothing. I saw you, right? And then if we don't comes not that blood, if we don't want to stress the no, what do we have there? Trochee. Comes not that blood as modest evidence. Evidence. Comes blood, modest evidence. To witness simple virtue. And then that's a caesura. And that's it. So, if that's a caesura, would you not swear? Would you not swear? I would do it also or reattack that. Would you not swear? Witness simple virtue would swear. All you that see her, double underline, that she were she, you that see her, that she were a maid. That she were made. Double underline. See and made, double underline. By these exterior shows, she is none. These exterior shows, she none. She knows the heat of a luxurious bed. Knows heat a luxurious bed. Okay. Her Blush is guiltiness, not modesty. Blush, guiltiness, modesty. And look how, like with the trochees, we can avoid hitting the nose. And use double underline guiltiness. Her blush is guiltiness, not modesty.
Okay.
Okay? Let's go on, then we'll paraphrase.
Okay.
I mean, this is what I would say, not, I would hit the not. Not to be married. I mean not married. And this is another trochee. To knit my soul. To, I would say, not to knit. So, dum. Look, Anapest. Not to knit my soul. To an approved wanton. I would double line approved and wanton. Not to knit my soul to an approved, like approved whore. Okay? I know you would say, if I have known her. No, you say, I know. Okay, next one. You will say, she, him. You will, there's another anapest. You will say she did embrace as husband. Say did embrace as husband. Double underline husband. And so extenuate forehand sin. So extenuate forehand sin. Trochee. No, Leonato. I never tempt her word too large. Never tempted her word large. But as bra to his sister show. As brother to sister show. Now look at the first word here. How do you say it?
Bashful.
Where's the stress? Trochee. Bashful, sincerity, and comely love. Bashful, sincerity, comely love. Trochee. Out on thee, not out on thee. Out on thee. You are more intemperate. Anapest again. Dum. You are more intemperate. Temperate in your blood. Are intemperate in blood than Venus, or those than Venus, or those pampered animals, than Venus, or those pampered animals that rage in savage sensuality. Those are operatives?
Yeah.
Okay. So now, next thing is the paraphrase. Now, we want to make sure, because some of these words we can guess, and I think it means something like this.
Right.
If we have any doubt, like I think it means something like, we're going to look it up, because how that word is used in that particular moment It might be used differently in other plays. It could be used specifically. So we have these books. And these are fantastic. These are called Shakespeare Lexicon and Quotation Dictionary. Whoops. By Alexander Schmidt. How can I figure this out? There. SCHMIDT. Okay. A through M, N through Z. These are great. You will use these your entire life. You buy them in like an order. Okay. So, anything we don't know, we're going to look it up. And if we do, just so you understand, like it's alphabetical, right? And then it'll say, let's say there's a couple of different definitions. Here's like the word adoption has two different meanings. The first one is the taking and treating a stranger as a child of one's own, actually adopting a strange child. And here's the line it's in and what play it's in. All's Well That Ends Well, Act 1, Scene 3, line 55. Here's the line, a little, the adopted, the A period is the word. And Cymbeline, Act 5, Scene 5, it's used in this line. But the other definition, the receiving or choosing something as one's own, is used differently in these plays. So that's where we're going to find the context and we're going to look them up. Okay? So, sweet prince, you learn me noble thankfulness. In your own words, what do you think that means? Your paraphrase.
I thank you, Prince, or something like that?
Yes, you're teaching me. Okay. You're teaching me to be thankful. Thank you, my prince. You learned me noble thankful. You taught me to be thankful for this choice and this distinction.
Yeah.
He's saying, I wouldn't, perhaps it's something you don't want to marry. And he's like, thank you for teaching me to be thankful to you for pointing it out.
Yeah.
Okay? There, Leonato, take her back again. Leonato's her dad.
Okay, so
There, take your daughter back again. She's not going to my house. She's not becoming mine. You're still holding on to her. Give not this rotten orange to your friend.
It's a rotten orange must be like a knife or whatever.
Yes.
Okay.
And a rotten orange. She should be sweet and beautiful, but it's like corroded and full of worms and shriveled because she's used, tarnished, no longer a virgin, and she's a whore. And a lying whore.
Okay.
That's what you're thinking you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. She's but the sign and semblance of her honor. Should we look it up?
Yeah.
Look up sign or semblance. What do you think it means?
Maybe like she's only has a place for honor or something like that.
Let's see. Semblance can also be, what does that sound like? Right. Sign and resemblance of her honor. She's not really honorable. She's like a show. She looks like she is. She's in a beautiful dress. She looks like she's virtual. But she's not. Probably looking for something you have to do with like show or facade or fake or
Dude.
what does it say? What does it say the definition of that quote is? You found a little S in semblance, you saw like an S period or something?
I'm looking at sign.
Okay, yeah, but you see like when it shows you the quote, you say, she's but the S period and semblance of her honor. What's the quote that it shows you? Does it say Act 4, Scene 1 next to a do?
No. It says, that by which something is shown or perceived, an external proof or evidence.
What?
An external proof or evidence.
An external proof or evidence.
Yeah.
Okay, great. I think that's the context of it.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so external proof, like something that is shown as proof. That's what sign is. And then let's look up semblance in your SE. Semblance.
She's got the sign and semblance of her.
There we go,
It says, appearance, show, exterior, form.
Appearance, show, like what she resembles. Again, semblance, resembles. Appearance. She looks as if she's the image and resemblance of her honor.
Okay.
She looks like she's honorable by everything that she's, by how she's dressed, by she's in her bridal gown, she's wearing white, she's like a virgin, she looks like, resemblance. Behold, so listen, okay. Sweet Prince, you've taught me to be thankful. And thankful for the truth from you. There, her father, take her back again. Don't give this rotten orange to your friend. The spoiled fruit. She's but the sign and semblance of her honor. She's not truly honorable. She has the show. So there's a lot of that we're going to say. By these exterior shows, we're talking about, he deals a lot with the facade image, that she's a two-faced, that she looks like she's one thing, but inside she's something else. Okay? So, behold how like a maid she blushes here. What does that mean?
She's like kind of...
What does maid mean?
A maid, probably like...
No, the opposite. A maid is a virgin.
Oh, okay.
A madam or married or whatever, or something wanton. Wanton's a whore. And then like a legitimate married woman might be a wife or whatever, where she's no longer a virgin. But maid is in Shakespeare times a virginal woman. A virgin woman. Behold how like a virgin she blushes in her cheek. Like, oh, like, you haven't felt that, and you say, oh, what authority and show of truth can cunning sin cover itself withal? What authority, with what, forcefulness and kind of righteousness, and, again, show of truth, facade of truth, can cunning, smart, or wily, sneaky, sin, personifying sin, cover itself withal. Like the devil is a charming man.
Right.
He's evil, but his cunning show is that he's charming. That's how he lures you.
Right.
So it's like, oh, what authority and show of truth can cunning sin cover itself withal? Can the sin of being a slut, how dare you dress in white and look like you're a virgin?
Right. Okay.
You're basically talking to sin as a personifying, poetic personifying.
Right. Okay.
And the devil will be a snake in sheep's clothing, basically, or a wolf in sheep's clothing.
Yeah.
Same idea.
Alright.
Comes not that blood, the blood of her blushing, as modest evidence to witness simple virtue? Let's see what that means. As modest proof or evidence to witness simple virtue. The thing we want to do from the work we're doing now, the paraphrasing, is it helps to, from the paraphrase, how you'd speak the paraphrase, match the tone into the Shakespeare on the operative words. Like what word to color based upon what the translation is in your head. So for example, we have these operative words, right?
Yeah.
We know the ones we want to lay into. But we also want to go, all right, that's the scansion. We have to hit those syllables and those words. But the color in which we hit them is based upon what the paraphrase is. Like, sweet prince, you learn me noble thankfulness. Good prince, you've taught me how to accept things nobly. Sweet prince, you learn me noble thankfulness. Accept things nobly. Thankfulness that's noble. noble thankfulness.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You have reverential. There, Leonardo, take your daughter back. There, Leonardo, take her back again. Right?
Yeah.
To match it. So let's go back and forth between this and that. Thought by thought.
Okay.
Good prince.
Prince of how to accept things. Sweet prince who learned me noble thankfulness. There, Leonardo, take your daughter back. There, Leonardo, take her back again.
Good.
Don't insult a friend by giving him a beautiful orange that rots inside.
So listen. So in the paraphrase, what were the words you kind of stressed? Don't insult your friend by giving him a beautiful orange that rots inside.
Okay.
Don't insult your friend by giving him a beautiful orange that rots inside. And then, give not this rotten orange to your friend. Friend, orange, it rots. Give not this rotten orange to your friend.
Okay.
Give not this rot.
Give not this rotten orange to your friend.
Paraphrase.
And then, don't insult a friend by giving him a beautiful orange that rots inside.
Right, so start with the paraphrase, then go back. Now keep going.
Okay.
Paraphrase. She only appears.
She only appears honorable from the outside.
Good. She
She's
only
but the sign and semblance of her honor.
Right. She only appears beautiful from the outside. She only appears beautiful from the outside. Remember?
Yeah.
She is, but so, and a lot of times in Shakespeare there's inversion. So he's like beautiful from the outside, but it's like sign outside she is beautiful.
Right.
It's inverted, right? She's but the sign and semblance of her honor, not truly honorable. Trying to sign and semblance of her honor.
Okay.
She's not truly. So semblance is double underline, honor's single.
Okay.
She's but the sign and semblance, arrow up on semblance, not arrow up on semblance. Semblance of her honor. Paraphrase.
Look how she blushes like a virgin. And behold how like a maid she blushes here.
Right. So it's like, behold how like a virgin she blushes here in her cheeks as well. Behold how like a maid she blushes here. Right. You're saying, look. And she's like starting to blush. She's like being embarrassed at the altar. It's like, she's freaking out. Right.
So you're like, yeah, okay.
And you're like, ha, look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Behold how like a maid she blushes here. Going on.
Oh, sin can disguise itself so artfully. Can cunning sin cover itself withal?
Let's see. Yeah, oh, sin. Oh, yeah, oh, sin can disguise itself so artfully. Oh, with authority and show of truth. So show is an arrow up.
Oh, yeah.
Authority and show of truth can cunning sin cover itself withal.
Okay.
Sin cover. Show truth, sin cover.
Okay.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let's try that again.
Oh, what authority and show of truth can cunning sin cover itself withal?
Good. Use instead of going show of truth, say show of truth.
Okay.
Don't make truth as important as show, pitch-wise. Like the appearance of truth, not the appearance of truth. The appearance of truth. Right? It's a fake.
Oh, what authority and show of truth can cunning sin cover itself withal?
Show of truth can cunning sin cover itself withal. Watch my finger. Oh, what authority and show of truth can cunning sin cover itself withal.
Okay.
So it's not show of truth, it's show of truth. The parentheses. Put parentheses around of truth, so you don't go hit truth pitch-wise. The same thing we did, like, is favorable to us.
Right.
Same idea.
Okay.
Okay.
From where?
Same line, the show
Right.
of truth.
Oh, what authority and show of truth can cunning sin cover itself withal?
Yes.
Okay.
Better. I know you feel like you know what you're saying, but
Yeah.
the words you're grabbing onto and pitching up,
Yeah.
and you're not like too many things to think about. Right.
Right.
Doesn't that rising?
Doesn't that rising blush suggest that she is virtuous and innocent?
Yeah. Doesn't that rising blush suggest that she's virtuous and innocent? That she's blushing about this? But she's not. Okay.
Okay.
So,
Comes not that way.
yes,
Okay.
comes not that blood as modest evidence to witness simple virtue, that she appears to be virtuous? That blood as if she appears she's a virtuous?
Comes not that blood as modest evidence to witness simple virtue?
And let's go back to the paraphrase and let's see what we were. Doesn't that rising blush suggest that she's virtuous and innocent? Comes not that blood as modest evidence to witness simple virtue? To witness simple virtue? I would say blood to witness simple virtue. Witness, like, does not that blood suggest that she is honest and virtuous? Comes not that blood to witness simple virtue? Witness simple virtue?
Okay.
Like, so it's mainly blood, witness, virtue is what you're getting.
Okay. Comes not that blood as modest evidence to witness simple virtue? All of you who are looking at her, wouldn't you swear that she's a virgin, judging by these outward shows? Would you not swear, all you that see her, that she were a maid by these exterior shows?
Exterior. Right.
Exterior.
Right. And and I would even, like, so if you were making that whole thing a question, then you're making it kind of a rhetorical question, right?
Yeah.
Like, so what if you were really asking a question? Would you not swear, everybody that was sitting here, that she were made by how she looks? Made by these exterior shows? You can upline and actually ask the question. Instead of made by these exterior shows. That's a rhetorical question, making a statement but asking a question.
Right.
You could also, you probably would think she actually is, right? Everyone that's standing here, you probably think that she actually is a virgin, right?
Okay.
To really ask the question, have it be an upline. Try that. Let's try
Okay.
that. You could do it rhetorically as well, but try it as an upline.
Alright. Would you not swear, all you that see her, that she were a maid by these exterior shows?
Yes. But she ain't.
Yeah. But she is no virgin.
Right there.
But she is none.
none. No, she is none.
She is none. Okay.
Right. But she is no virgin. Like, none is no virgin. He's
Okay.
not, right?
She has been in a man's bed.
Right there.
She knows the heat of a luxurious bed.
She blushes.
She blushes from guilt, not modesty. Her blush is guiltiness, not modesty.
Her blush is guiltiness, not modesty.
Her blush is guiltiness, not modesty.
What do you mean, my lord?
I won't be married. I won't join my soul to such a proven slut.
What do you mean, my lord?
I mean not to be married. Not to knit my soul to such an approved wanton.
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 Not to knit my soul to an approved wanton. Like approved is like approved, like that there's a proven slut.
Okay.
Confirmed, right? Not to knit my soul to an approved wanton.
Okay. not to knit my soul to an approved wanton.
Dear my lord, if you have in your own proof, if in your own proof have vanquished the resistance of her youth and made defeat of her virginity, listen, if you're the one that slept with her before, what would you say? I know what you're about to say.
I know what you're about to. Oh, didn't we cut that one? No, that's enough.
No.
I know what you're about to say. If I had slept with her, you'd say that we did so as husband and wife, merely anticipating our eventual marriage.
Right, so let's take it through beforehand sin. I know what you would say.
I know what you would say. If I had known her, you will say she did embrace me as a husband.
And so
extenuate the forehand sin.
Right. So, now let's go back to the... You say that we did so as husband and wife, merely anticipating our eventual marriage. Anticipating our eventual marriage. Extenuate the forehand sin. That's anticipating.
And so extenuate the forehand sin.
So that whole thing would be, I know what you would say. If I had known her, you would say she did embrace me as a husband. And so extenuate the forehand sin. Right. Do you see what I'm saying? I'm really just getting to husband. Like, you will say she did embrace me as a husband. You will say she did embrace me as a buck. Say she did embrace me as a husband. So we're kind of, remember the monkey bars? I was talking about the monkey bars? Yeah. Right? So we're skipping over, like, the unimportant monkey bars and really grabbing the next big operative word. Right. You will say she did embrace me as a husband. And so extenuate the forehand sin.
Okay. You will say she did embrace me as a husband, and so extenuate the forehand sin.
Like, is that true? You say, no, Leonato.
No, Leonato. I never seduced her or tempted her with indecent words.
Think about it. So no, Leonato, after Shakespeare.
No, Leonato. I never tempted her with words too large.
Word too large.
Word too large.
Sing it. Back to the paraphrase. And it could be like, no, Leonato. I never tempted her with word too large. I never tempted her with indecent words.
Okay. I treated her like a brother would treat a sister, with modest sincerity and appropriate affection. But as a brother to his sister showed bashful sincerity and comely love.
Good. You see what happened to your voice, though? What did you do? Say the paraphrase again, and notice what you did texture-wise in your voice as you were painting how you did treat her.
I treated her like a brother would treat a sister.
With what?
With modest sincerity and appropriate affection.
Right. An appropriate affection. Like, before we crossed over to actually being lovers, you know, I never crossed that. It really was a good courtier. I never, like, crossed the bounds.
Right.
I never tempted her with word too large. But as a brother to a sister, showed bashful sincerity and comely love. Comely love. You see what I'm saying? Like, you feel like the texture of, like, I backed away. I was very respectful. I was just, you know,
Right.
very, like, gracious and respectful, and never was like racy and, hey babe, get over here, and why don't you blow me behind the, you know, behind the wet. You know, I never threw that in her face.
Okay. Curse you for your false appearances. To me, you seemed like Diana in her orbit. As her, oh wait, curse you for
Out on thee.
okay. Out on thee.
Out on thee, which means like curse you for your false appearances. Out on thee, like get away from me.
Okay.
Out, like get out. Get thee out. Out on thee.
Out on thee.
Not
no.
out on thee, just it's out on thee. Yes.
Okay.
Get
Out on thee. You are more intemperate in your blood than Venus, or those pampered animals that rage in savage sensuality.
Right. So are those like, you know, fancy poodles, you know, that are manicured, because she's rich, right? She has beautiful clothes, she has a lot of money, you know, she's the daughter of Leonardo, a wealthy merchant, a lord. So it's like, you're more intemperate, like hot in the blood than Venus is always the goddess of love, always looking for love. Or those pampered animals, those like princess animals that rage and savage sensuality, they're allowed to go out and do whatever they want.
Okay.
Because they're so privileged, no one controls them and no one fixes them.
Gotcha.
But they come home, you know, I'm pregnant again, like in that kind of a way. They go home pregnant, you have letters. Instead of like, I told you we're breeding you, you're not allowed to fuck anybody. Like, oh, well, I got out and I fucked everything. So that's kind of what you're saying, you know?
Yeah.
Out on me.
Right. Out on me. You are more intemperate in your blood than Venus, or those pampered animals that rage in savage sensuality.
Yes, and make sure sensuality, make sure that meaning T, because Shakespeare has a limit. You're a lord and a prince, so your diction needs to be crisp. Okay. So let's do one read of the whole thing with kind of the paraphrase running in our head. Okay.
All right. Sweet prince, you learn me noble thankfulness. There, Leonardo, take her back again.
Leonato.
Leonato.
There, Leonato.
There, Leonato, take her back again. Give not this rotten orange to your friend. She's but the sign and semblance of her honor. Behold how like a maid she blushes here.
Yeah, she blushes. Maid, like she looks like she's blushing like a virgin. She looks like she's blushing like a virgin. Look how her cheeks are blushing like a virgin. Look how her cheeks are blushing like a virgin. Behold how like a maid she blushes here.
Okay.
Instead of blushes here.
Okay.
Behold how like a maid she blushes here.
Behold how like a maid she blushes here. Oh, what authority and show of truth can cunning sin cover itself withal?
Good.
Comes not that blood as modest evidence to witness simple virtue? Would you not swear, all you that see her, that she were a maid by these exterior shows? But she is none. She knows the heat of a luxurious bed. Her blush is guiltiness, not modesty.
What do you mean, my lord?
I mean not to be married, not to knit my soul to an approved wanton. Wanton.
Wanton. Approved wanton. Big old dumpling.
Yeah.
Dear my lord, if you in your own truth have vanquished the resistance of her youth and made defeat of her virginity...
I know what you would say. If I have known her, you will say she did embrace me as a husband, and so extenuate the forehand sin. No, Leonato, I never tempted her with word too large, but as a brother to his sister, showed bashful sincerity and comely love.
Seemed I ever otherwise to you?
Out on thee! You are more intemperate in your blood than Venus, or those pampered animals that rage in savage sensuality.
Good.
Okay.
Better.
Yeah.
Better.
Yeah.
So, I would say, if we're talking about, so the anger and the vengefulness is obviously there, right?
Right.
But what also needs to be there is the hurt
That's true.
that this girl, I mean, the girl I love is like betrayed me, and it's also just as hard at your wedding to admit that, like I really loved you, like I was so excited about today until I saw this last night, and you know, over the night I've been upset, and hurt, and screaming, and angry, and crying, and I feel like that's what's in there, right? So it's flipping between, you know, pinning her to the ropes, right, and accusing her to belittle and demean her.
Right.
And there's also respectfulness to the prince, you know. And there's also like the public. I'm really asking, wouldn't you all think by this that she is? But I'm also telling you I have evidence I saw with my own eyes that she's not.
Okay.
And part of it is also like the tears. It's also like, I treated you so well. Believe me, I was respectful to her. I didn't do anything that would have caused her to step out.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So part of the hurt has to come in as a different color. So it's not just an angry piece.
Right.
You want to always lace it with multiple colors in one audition piece. So I would say the first part is gratitude. Then it's to persecute her. And then maybe it's like sarcastic, like, oh God, you're playing the blush card, really?
Yeah. Okay.
You know, like to sarcastically berate her rather than directly.
Okay.
And then really asking the crowd. Look, I bet you'd think that too, wouldn't you? Everyone who's here, don't you think it looks like that? I fell for it too.
Right.
Right? But she isn't. Well, guiltless of modesty. Not to be married. Who you want it. So now when you talk about if you slept with her, did you sleep with her? She's like, I know what you're gonna say. If I slept with her, you know, that would have been just a sleeping before we actually got married. But I didn't. And then I think heartbreak. You're looking me right in the eyes like, you know I didn't do that. I didn't tempt her. I wasn't mean to you. I treated you so well. And that's like, how can you do this to me? I can't. But not from anger, from like being wounded. Okay? And then the end is, out on thee, like, really to cast her off. She's like, did I ever seem anything beside that to you? She's like, out on thee, seeming you. That was the whole point.
Yeah.
No, you seemed to me as this beautiful, chaste virgin, but now I know and saw from my own eyes that you were actually a whore.
Right.
Right?
Okay.
So it goes back from like casting her away, like the hardness that she comes to you out of the heartbreak. You said, well, did I ever see anything like that to you? You're like, oh God! And then really pushing her away and rejecting her.
Okay.
From like almost crying in anger and crying at the end.
Yeah.
And you seem to me one way, but in actuality you're a whore.
Yeah.
Which is killing me. I'm not going to marry a whore.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
So at least it has that interesting ride.
Okay.
And who would that? And then you have to think, who's your hero? Who are you marrying? Or who betrayed you, like in a love relationship wise? Like you're kind of stepping out on you, or you could do a what if? What if this person you're really interested in betrayed you and stepped out on you?
Okay.
And that wasn't in the agreement.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. And we'll work on. That was good of like all that system.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
much better. And going back from the paraphrase to that with that color.
Okay.
And a good way to switch gears in the color at the beat is to think, I'm so hurt. How could you do this? And that will help to then give you the tone of what the next emotion is. Like, how fucking dare you? And then that's the attack tone.
Right.
And then like, look, everybody look. I'm asking you all to look. And then that's the tone for, would you not think, all of you that see her? You see what I'm saying? It helps you set up the tone of the action, the feeling that you're about to, and really have these different colors in there emotionally.
Okay.
Okay?
Gotcha.